We are starting off this work week with an active weather pattern that continues through most of this work week. Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. We're about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast because daily thunderstorm chances are going to stay with us. Now here through this afternoon, we've had some scattered thunderstorms and showers working their way up the 97 corridor. And when we look across the Tri-County area, we actually have a mixture of sunshine and clouds. Some of us, our roads are wet through parts of the Tri-County area. When we just go ahead and take a snapshot of what's been happening, we've had a total of more than 275 lightning strikes across the Tri-County area, or I should say in and around Central Oregon. Some of them are a little further off towards the east over Grant and Harney County. But here through the rest of this evening, this thunderstorm activity stays with us. But one of those clusters started between Sun River and Bend and just worked its way right up the 97 and then 20 corridor going up towards Sisters, and we're still getting some of the impacts from that cluster of thunderstorms. So let's go ahead and just look at satellite and radar. Now here through the last couple of hours, this has been the cell that we've been tracking, but if you look a little further to the south, from south of Lapine all the way up to north of the Newberry Caldera, we have another line of thunderstorms that is developing, and one just to the north of Paulina. Now each one of these pockets of thunderstorm activity, we're really tracking for any potential fire starts across the Tri-County area. But when we look in a few other spots, South Central Oregon, Eastern Oregon, all have these thunderstorms. Now nothing has been severe here through the day today, but it is something that we're continuing to track with you, for you, and alongside you. And if you have any wonders of what's happening at this time, go ahead and use the Central Oregon Daily News app. Go to the weather part of it, and there's a whole page dedicated to radar. There are several GIFs that automatically update every 5 minutes. All you have to do is refresh the page to see where those thunderstorm cells are moving to. But as of this evening, there are several thunderstorms that are impacting our Tri-County area. Again, nothing severe. Now the National Weather Service has taken notice, and they have issued a red flag warning, but it's not going in effect until 2 p.m. Tuesday. So it's through Tuesday that we have this red flag warning. Now here through this afternoon, we have had already a couple hundred lightning strikes, and even more are going to be possible through the rest of tonight. So it's something we're continuously tracking with you. And a quick look one more time at satellite and radar shows that this activity is across the eastern 2/3 of the state, and it's scattered thunderstorm activity. Now we're in a specific setup that is actually conducive for this kind of development, and we're actually going to see a low pressure begin to develop over the coastline of Oregon, and that's just going to work its way north, feeding us even more moisture from the Pacific Ocean. That wraparound moisture is going to allow thunderstorm activity to develop through the next couple of hours. More convection is expected. So when we look at the bigger picture, here's what we're really focusing on. There is a low pressure that's out over the Gulf of Alaska, and this low is a strong low. What's happening is waves of moisture are developing, and we're getting these things that are called short waves, not huge cold fronts, but just waves of moisture that are enough to trigger this afternoon thunderstorm development. Now further out over the Pacific Northwest, we're partially under a ridge of high pressure. That's why this morning it was gorgeous, but this afternoon these thunderstorms started to pop up. And at the moment, there have been some severe thunderstorms way out to the east and northeast, just nothing over Central Oregon or really the Pacific Northwest. But we're continuing to track each and every cell that develops, because frequent lightning, small hail, and strong thunderstorm gusts are going to be expected through the next couple of days. Here's how this plays out. Through tonight, we get that clearing, and overnight mostly clear, calming, a pleasant start tomorrow, very similar to what we had today. Even the temperatures are going to be close to where they were today, and depending on where we get that differential heating, more heating during the day, that's where some thunderstorms are going to be popping up. More scattered thunderstorms roll through the high desert Tuesday afternoon, more Wednesday afternoon. So this pattern stays with us. Now currently, outside of areas that have been getting soaked our relative humidity is in the teens and 20s. That's very dry. Add in the dry conditions to dry thunderstorms, and what we're actually seeing is there are some spots that are getting a little bit of virgo. You can see the rain falling. It's just not quite reaching the ground for everybody. And those are the areas that if you're getting lightning, we're concerned about the dry thunderstorm activity. But other spots, not as dry. Now, high temperatures in the last 24 hours, mostly in the 80s and 90s currently, we're ranging from 73 degrees in Sun River to 97 in Warm Springs. So it is warm. Where we have been getting some of that rain, it's a little on the muggy side, and this is just going to continue. So currently, our temperatures are running between 7 degrees cooler and 3 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. Now here through tonight, we fall out of the 80s through the 70s, 60s, into the 50s. By tomorrow, we start off pleasant, like we did to start off the work week today, top out in the 80s and 90s, and then more thunderstorms start to develop and work their way through the high desert. So we saw a very high UV intensity forecast, and that's because of the sunshine in the AM, and we start to get clouds during the midday and early afternoon hours. Now highs will be in the 90s and 80s, but by Wednesday and Thursday, we see a sharp drop in that UV intensity forecast, and that's because of the additional cloud cover. Because of more rain, we're getting clouds earlier each day. So by Tuesday, some thunderstorms during the afternoon getting into the evening, but more heat and PM thunderstorms are expected through the next couple of days. Tuesday, where highs are in the 90s and 80s. By Wednesday, either side of 90 degrees, and we stay there on Thursday. But notice, this low that's developing over Northern California and the southern coastline of Oregon, that's going to work its way right up the coastline. That wraparound moisture is going to be feeding us with even more of a pattern that's going to be conducive for afternoon thunderstorm development. And then by Thursday, we're not looking at too much sunshine, more clouds, more showers, some thunderstorms, and gusty winds. So each day through the next 72 hours, a potential of thunderstorm activity. By Friday, we start to clear out. Now, as we go forward through the next couple of days, I'm going to pull in a forecast model, and we're going to take a look at just what the precipitation is going to be doing. So there's our low way out over the Gulf of Alaska and northern Pacific Ocean. Through tonight, we clear out. By tomorrow, we have some afternoon thunderstorms expected. That repeats on Wednesday. A little less cloud cover to start the day, maybe some sprinkles. Our low starts to impact us, and as it pushes into the Pacific Northwest, we get even more precipitation expected. So by Wednesday afternoon and evening, still some thunderstorms by 10 p.m. By Thursday, we're looking at rain through most of the day. Periods of sunshine are expected, and then that low rolls out. As it rolls out, we get clearing on Friday, and more sunshine is expected as we go through this weekend. By Friday night, maybe a few sprinkles possible, and even on this weekend, a few light showers aren't out of the question. Nothing near what we're expecting during the next couple of days. So by 7 a.m. tomorrow, we are going to be dry, and then more thunderstorms during the afternoon. By Wednesday, more afternoon thunderstorms, and then by Thursday, we're just looking at even more rain. So this pattern is staying with us. Meanwhile, winds right now are ranging between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Where you see those green spots on the map, that's where we have stronger gusts. And actual wind speeds are about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now, through the next couple of hours, actual wind speeds are getting up to where gusts are right now. And it's going to be breezy for a couple of hours, and then we start to taper back off to a gentle breeze. This pattern continues through Tuesday and Wednesday once again. Now, around thunderstorm activity, that's where we could be looking at gusts between 50 and 60 miles per hour. But that's going to be few and far between, mostly Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But for tonight, mostly 50s. By tomorrow, 80s and 90s. And here's a quick look at your 7-day planner. Now, temperatures dip down on Thursday because we're looking at more cloud cover through the day, not as much warming, but we still have a chance of scattered thunderstorm activity. By Friday, we get our clearing. In and out clouds are expected. By Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, lower chances of precipitation, and temperatures dip down to either side at 80 degrees at their coolest. And that's going to be on Sunday. By Monday, we start to rebound. But notice we're going to be well below average with that average high is 89 degrees. We're going to be 5 to 10 degrees cooler than that by Sunday and Monday. So ultimately, through the next couple of days, your weather headlines include mild nights and pleasant starts. Each afternoon, showers and thunderstorms are expected. The risk of dry lightning is going to be high, especially where those thunderstorms don't track right over your area, and that's going to be bringing us an elevated risk of fire danger. Now, that's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News at 5 and 11 on ABC and at 6, 7, and 11 on CBS. Well, the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.